I got my little notebook here that has logged all of these measurements over time of the arms primarily, but you can see I also started tracking the legs last year. So I'm going to do an official measurement and write her down here because I haven't done one since February. Sheesh. I forgot this book in Saskatoon when I went away for the summer. So that's part of the reason. And yeah, I don't have a pump right now. I just took a shower. It's like 9:30 at night. Trained legs today. It's been a few hours since we hit them, so it should be a reasonable measurement for the legs. September 20th, September 2020, 15.75 inches. 2021, 22, 23. So 3 years ago, they were 15.75. So let's measure them. Pipes. Pipe daddies. Let me get down low here so you can see me. Alright. And then we're going to put this fucking tape measure away for several months. There's no point really in measuring on a weekly or monthly basis. Let me make sure that this is lined up. It's not squidgied. Sometimes when the thing isn't completely straight, it can give you a bit of a false measurement. Oh, I think it was. So we're back to 17.75. It was like just under 18. I got all excited, boy. But yeah, there she is. It's gonna be hard for you to see. There's not good lighting. Oh, there's a little. Can you see that? The 18 is right here, right hither, and the 0 is right there. So it's 17 3/4. Maybe if I, I don't want to fudge it. I want the measurement to be honest. But yeah, that's exactly 17 3/4. 17 3/4. 3/4. I know. Yep. Okay. So let's write that down. August. What is it? 24th. Aug. 24th. Excuse me. 2023. 17.75 inches. So yeah, it's 3 years to put 2 inches on. And yeah, this time last year they were at 17.5. So you can see there, over here somewhere, September 4th, 2022, 17.5. So in a year, I've only put a 1/4 inch on, and you can see I put this 17.6125, so I was getting frustrated with the measurements, and they seem to be maybe slightly over 17.5. So I was like, 17.6125 on December 28th, and again on February 28th. But yeah, it's some plateaus, some periods of growth. Fairly consistent, but it's really slowed down in the last year, unfortunately. So now let's do the legs. September 4th, 2022, they were 23 inches. And then on April 19th, that should be 2023, they were 24 inches. That seems a little high. And in probably August of 2022 last year, they were 22.5. Last year, the end of August, beginning of September was when I found jumping lunges. Started training consistently. And I was in the gym today, doing the 55-pound dumbbells. So let me put this over here. You can see, hopefully. Oh my God, this freaking tripod, mate. It's everywhere. Probably drop it down a little bit so you can see the freaking leggies. The leggers. Let's see, now I'll get myself into position. You see me? Yep. Okay, So yeah, last year, around end of August, I started doing the jumping line, just body weight. So I just lock in a position like this, and I'm just up and down, bah, bah. I started with 6 sets, I think, and I increased the volume a little bit, but then more recently I brought it back down to those 6 sets. And I started with body weight, and then today, about a year later, I'm doing the 55-pound dumbbells for sets of 15 reps. So it's an extra 110 pounds on top of my body weight. Just doing that one movement consistently every 3 days. Well, I take 3 days off, so every 4th day or whatever. And then slowly progressing the weight. I'm specifically using that fast explosive tempo because I didn't progress the weight that much until the past couple months, and then it's real. I think I was at like the 35s maybe, and then it's gone up quite a lot. Anyways, enough yip yammering. Let's measure these bad boys. So for this measurement, I've just been doing kind of at the top of my quad, but obviously I don't want to get my glute into it. That would be falsifying. And let me give my little flex, why not? Oh, 25. Make sure I'm not fudging. Yeah, 24 3/4 more so. Well, kind of depends where you go too. That's the thing with these measurements is, yeah, I think 24 3/4. I have no idea if you can see that. Appears to be the girth. So that's good. That's an improvement, big time. I've kind of said to myself that hold on, August 24th, 2023, 24.75, 24.75, 25-inch legs. It was hard to know what it's going to look like, but in my mind I was saying that 25 was kind of the target of like when I would feel good about my leg size. And I would say that they are getting close. And yeah, for a long time, for most of that training, I would never train in shorts for my legs or for my upper body, just because they were disproportionately small, and I was kind of embarrassed. That's the truth. But then today, wearing feels good to be able to walk in there with shorts. I wouldn't say they're big, but they're definitely not embarrassingly small in proportion to the rest of my physique. So I feel comfortable rocking the sweat shorts, gray sweat shorts I wore today. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you that update. And yeah, 25-inch quads or legs and 18-inch arms, I think is a pretty solid dimensions that I'd be pretty happy with. And we're a 1/4 inch below on both of them. The legs are 24.75 and the arms are 17.75. So final push. And then yeah, maybe it should be road to fucking 18-inch arms and 25-inch fucking cock. I mean legs. But another point I wanted to make is that tracking this stuff is useful because it does give you another measurement, because sometimes it's like hard to gauge your progress when you see yourself in the mirror every day. So you're kind of just like, am I growing? Am I not? You can look at the weight. Taking pictures and looking back at them is good, but I think doing measurements is really useful over a long time period, right? So from September 2020, when I started measuring my arms, they were 15.75. And this is when I kind of got back into training after probably the previous 3 or 4 years not really training much at all because of the injuries. 15.75, and 3 years later they're at 17.75. So if you don't track that, man, like think about 3 years of fucking training. That's an eternity, you know? You can kind of see yourself getting bigger slowly, but having something like that to look at that's tangible, you look at all the time that I've spent, or that you've spent, it kind of like feels good, it justifies it. Sometimes I'm like, holy fuck, I'm like sacrificing doing other shit, eating whatever food I would like to eat, or You know, I spend so much time doing mobility and training. It's a massive part of my life for what, right? Some results feel great. I love doing it, and I'm locked in, but to see some tangible results is also nice. So I recommend that you do some measurements, set a target, set a goal of how thick you want your your arms or legs or whatever. I don't know, people do like around your upper body for your chest and stuff, but the chest is looking, it's definitely, people are hating on my chest for sure. My posts, people talking on the TikTok and Instagram, I read some of the comments, and personally, I don't really, like, I do think, you know, I can't hit it directly, so it is a little bit underdeveloped, but like, I've never really wanted to have a huge chest. That's just not a look I'm going for. Nothing wrong with it. Some people that want the huge chest, maybe they think big arms just look stupid. You know, like, to each his own. You know, I'm not tell you what your goal is, but for me personally, like, when I look at my physique, and I've seen some good improvement in the pecs, just from hitting those overhead extensions, these finisher sets where I'm really stretching, and the reason, I was surprised when it started to happen, but I'm taking it to such high intensity that it gets chest growth. So I'm in this position overhead, right, with the dumbbell, and I'm focusing on dropping my shoulders down, scooping my elbows in, and allowing the weight to pull me back into this position. So that's putting a big stretch tension on the pec, because the pec is going to be responsible for bringing your arm back this way, or some of the fibers are, right? And then also the lat, right? Your lat's going to bring your arm back this way. So if I'm letting the weight pull me and I'm keeping my shoulders down and scooped around, and a lot of that tension ends up being on the pec and the lat. And so when I do these killer drop sets where I do the 80-pound dumbbell, the failure, and then I do like 6 drops, and I'm like maxing it out with a super slow controlled negative, the chest and the lat start getting stimulated, surprisingly. And that's with like insane intensity. I'm going to film one of my finishers soon so you can see what it looks like. And somehow that's actually targeted the titties, and the lats have grown. My back is not impressive either, but for not being able to hit it directly, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. I have no idea if I'm even in the camera shot right now, but anyways, some ILS here if I stand like this. Yeah, so I can't remember what I was talking about, but measurements, measuring your shit, and then seeing growth in some of these muscles just from training the arms so hard. And that part of the issue is the pec minor gets short, especially the left one, and that pulls me my scapula out of position. You can see like the left, I don't know if you can tell, but the left collarbone sits higher than the right one, you know? And the shoulder, this shoulder is like internally rotated much more, right? And so this pec minor is way tighter, and that scapula on that left side, these are my shoulder blades, is sitting tighter to my spine. It's downwardly rotated and retracted more than it should be if these are your shoulder blades. And when that gets pulled too far out of position, it starts to press on some kind of nerve, and I get that numbness and tingling up into the side of my face. And I've learned to manage it, release the pec minor, release the lat on that side to get that shoulder blade back into a more neutral position. But if I do any kind of intense like chest work or back work directly, those things pull that shoulder blade further and further out of position. That's why I can't hit those muscle groups directly. However, through the overhead tricep is the opposite of the issue. So that, again, if these are your shoulder blades, if that scapula is downwardly rotated and overly retracted, when you do any kind of movement overhead, that scapula upwardly rotates up this way. So it's stretching out all those muscles that are dysfunctional and chronically tight and imbalanced. So that's why the overhead movement works so well. And I'm able to push it to fatigue and like maximum failure and not necessarily further ingrain those muscle imbalances. I'm going to run out of time here real quick, but that's just sort of a little rough explanation of it and a quick update. Can I do the titty dance? Kinda, not really. Oh, there we go. Hey, how you fucking doing, boy? Thanks for tuning in, you little pussy ass bitch. All right.